How's it going, everyone? AllofPokemonTCG here. We're going to try something a little different this time. Over on Twitter, we do a hashtag Shiny Sunday where a bunch of people come out and we shiny hunt on Hordes and X and Y. It's pretty cool. My Twitter is down in the description, so you guys can check that out and join us. We're going to start out. This is a shiny tutorial. We're going to go over all the things. I have a bunch of notes here from chain fishing to Friend Safari to the Hordes to Masuda method and Dex navving. So all of them will be included in this video. We'll start off with some of the basics. The full odds in 6th gen are 1 in 4,096 to find a shiny just in the wild. But there is a shiny charm which you need to capture every Pokemon except the event legendaries. And then you obtain the shiny charm from, I believe, Little Root Town and Lumio City in their respective games. The shiny charm increases it to 3 in 4,096 or 1 in 1,365.3. We'll start with Hordes because I believe that will be the most relative to the shiny charm because I think it's the only method that the shiny charm helps. So we have Hordes, so they're 5 Pokemon at the same time. So if your rate is, let me go back here, if your rate is 1 in 1,365, then doing Hordes, you divide that by 5 because you're encountering 5 at the same time. So it will be, without the shiny charm, it would be 1 in 819, and with the shiny charm, 1 in 273. So actually really good odds if I'm doing that math right. So that's a very good way to shiny hunt. There's some helpful abilities. Well, there's one helpful ability, which is Sweet Scent, which you kind of need to horde hunt. It attracts the horde, so you stand in the grass and you use Sweet Scent. Or you can, if you don't want to use Sweet Scent, I guess you can use honey, but honey's kind of hard to come by in X and Y and Horus, so Sweet Scent usually is the better option. That's pretty much it for Hordes. Now we're going to move on to the Masuda method. The Masuda method is when you have 2 Pokemon in the daycare, one being from a different region than the other. For example, you have one from USA or United States and the others from Japan. Now the easiest way is to get a ditto from a foreign country than the one that you're currently in. The rate for the Masuda method is 1 in 682 for each egg in 6th gen. So that's actually not that bad of odds. Compared to Hordes, it's a little worse, but you get to choose which Pokemon you're hunting for. Also, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, on the Battle Resort, there's a trail where if you follow it exactly, and you are on your bike, and you just hold in the up arrow, it takes you around the whole island endlessly until you decide to stop or your eggs hatch. The only helpful ability that I can think of was Flame Body, which hatches your eggs in less steps if you have it in your party. So things like Fletchinder and Macargo, they get Flame Body. So if you want to use them, that's a good idea. So that's it for Masuda method. That's pretty much it. I mean, all you do is drop them in the daycare. We're going to move on to the Friend Safari, which is only in X and Y. The rate for the Friend Safari is believed to be 1 in 512. That's like an average. All these are averages. Nothing is exact. And the way the Friend Safari works is each friend you have in your DS, using the friend codes, will have 3 available Pokemon in each of their Friend Safaris. The 2 are available at any time, and the 3rd one is available after your friend has beaten the Elite Four. And all you do is go in the Friend Safari, and it's just wild encounters in a little patch of grass. Now we're going to move on to chain fishing. Chain fishing is a little more difficult. We'll start off with the helpful abilities, which I highly recommend. So the helpful abilities are Suction Cups and Sticky Hold. Now the Pokemon has to be in the first slot in your party, but it increases the chance of landing a Pokemon while fishing. Obviously that will help you when you're chain fishing because you don't want to not catch a Pokemon. Now while you're fishing, the optimal space is a fishing area that is surrounded by rocks or other non-water tiles. So the more non-water tiles around the spot you're fishing in, the higher the chance of you continuing your chain will be. The odds max out at a chain of 40 and go to about 1 in a 200 chance, so if you get really good at it, it's actually pretty easy to get shinies. The ways to break the chain are moving from one, like you can't fish in a spot and move. You have to stay in the same spot and keep fishing over and over again. Not landing a Pokemon, meaning it just says that, like I think it says you don't get a nibble or something like that. If it says that, your chain does break. Or reeling in the rod too early or too late, that also breaks your chain. So be very careful when doing this. I think the Pokemon with suction cups is like Octillery and Lileep, and Sticky Hold, I think Gulpin and Swallow have it or something like that. I don't know, you guys can look them up yourself. But that's pretty much it for chain fishing. It's pretty simple, and it's one of the easiest ways if you get good at it to find shiny Pokemon. Next, we'll move on to the next one, and the biggest one, dex nabbing. Now we have dex nabbing, which is only available in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This has like the most information about it compared to all the other methods that we've already gone through. The odds of finding a shiny using dex nabbing is about 1 in 256. That's like the average. And you do dex nabbing by hunting the Pokemon using the circle pad on the 3DS, with not pushing it the whole way because that makes you walk. You need to sneak up to a shadowed Pokemon. The Pokemon you hunt needs to already be in your Pokédex, so you need to have caught it or gotten it traded to you or something of the sort. The best places to dex nab are in large areas of grass. So routes 104 and the very first 101 are very common places for like Talo, and it's very easy to shiny or to dex nab there. You can also hunt in places like caves and deserts and sky pillars or sky pillar and other places of the sort, but it's a lot harder because the Pokemon move around instead of just staying in one place. You can also hunt underwater using dive for Corsola and Relicanth, etc. Some of the easiest chaining spots, like I said, are in Petalburg Woods, Route 104. Also, if the message appears that you cannot find your Pokemon, and you get out your Acro Bike, if you have the Acro Bike with you, and you just hop in one spot, a Pokemon will appear. Then you can go and attack the Pokemon, make it faint, whatever, and go back and search for your Pokemon again, and it should be able to find it. That will continue without breaking your chain. Now, we'll talk about chains, because chains do not affect the odds of finding a shiny Pokemon at all. Not at all. The only thing that chains affect are every 5th Pokemon is going to be a higher leveled and probably have like an egg move or a hidden ability or something of the sort. But chains do not affect the shiny odds at all. It's just nice to keep a chain going because it keeps the searching faster. So try not to break your chain, which I'll go over how you break your chain. But try not to break your chain because it will help you shiny hunt faster. When you have an encounter with an exclamation point, that doesn't mean anything, but they're going to have a hidden ability, an egg move, or a higher level. It doesn't have anything to do with the shiny. Also, the stars on the screen, on the bottom half of the screen on the 3DS, is the Pokemon's potential. This shows you how good the IVs of the Pokemon are, and stuff like that. So that doesn't have anything to do with the chances of it being a shiny either. So some helpful abilities while you're hunting for these Pokemon. If you have a Pokemon in the lead spot of your party with Synchronize, it has a 50% chance of the wild Pokemon having the same nature as that Pokemon that has Synchronize. So a common Pokemon with Synchronize is Gardevoir, for example. So if your Gardevoir has an adamant nature, then you have a 50% chance of finding a Pokemon with an adamant nature. So that's good for finding which nature you want on your specific Pokemon. Also, you can have pickup on a bunch of Pokemon in your party if you wanted to, just to make some extra money to sell the items and stuff. But you'll be doing this for a while. It definitely takes patience. You just can't give up. That is like the biggest thing. You can't give up if you go over the odds. You gotta stick with it. But you'll definitely want max repels, because running into a wild Pokemon that isn't the one you're searching for is going to break your chain, which will take longer. Also, saving, checking your party or your items or your options will not break your chain. So you can do all these things and still continue to search for that Pokemon. But don't take too long getting to the Pokemon, because they will disappear and then you'll break your chain. Turning off the power will break your chain also. Items like ethers and lepa berries can be used to restore your PP on your Pokemon to keep chaining for longer periods of time. But I also recommend moves like Wing Attack, which has a decent base power. Could be Stab if you use a flying type, and has 35 PP, which is great. That lets you pretty much do it for a long time. But, I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to shiny hunting. But the biggest thing is just don't give up. Cannot give up, guys. Come out and shiny hunt with me and a bunch of other people on Twitter for our hashtag Shiny Sundays. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all there. Thanks for watching.